everybody, and welcome back to Banter Wars 2.5, the show bridging the gap between Banter Wars Series 2 and Series 3. First up in this fourth episode of 2.5, we have the Wiki Wars coming back into action. Gale Force X and 180 Overturned Tiger, two newcomers. Naked Rat and Dinistrio 2, also newcomers. But we've seen a few of these before. However, Gale Force X, new to the ring. How will it fare against 180 Overturned Tiger? Let's go find out. Gale Force X, the circular robot with the red bits and the spikes and the wheels everywhere. Fatnacker comes in for the action on this one to judge, to decipher, to see what's going on. There goes a wheel from Gale Force X, but there's no worries, there's plenty of those. 180 Overturned Tiger is the green robot with the spikes coming out of the front. Quite powerful spikes. Can it beat Gale Force X? This is a prototype Gale Force X, by the way. The AI isn't completely finished. The owner knows this, and he's expressed his ideas that maybe his robot won't be quite as planned. But this one won't be entered for Series 3. This is a Series 2.5 exclusive and is right now getting pummeled by 180 Overturned Tiger. Sparks are flying. Flames are being lit inside the robot. 180 Overturned Tiger is causing serious damage to those spikes at the front. We saw this one in a friendly recently against an ordinary robot, Blimy, and the PM's Pulverizer. And it did quite well, and it's done well here as well. Gale Force X immobilized. Now 180 Overturned Tiger is under the pressure of Fatnacker, our new house robot, getting underneath 180 Overturned Tiger. What's it gonna do though? Can't quite tip it over, the robot's invertible. Fatnacker, show us what you're made of. Don't get electrocuted by the side bits. I don't know where those electric shots come from, but it punches now 180 Overturned Tiger and it's gone out of the ring. Fatnacker dignified in victory here. And so is 180 Overturned Tiger. It took the wheels off, took the spikes off. Gale Force X spun as much as it could, but it couldn't bring up the momentum to cause damage to 180 Overturned Tiger. It burst into flames, burst out of the competition. 180 Overturned Tiger through to the next round. Well done, Fatnacker as well, getting another victory under its belt. So that is Gale Force X out. Next up, Naked Rat versus Jamie D's Dinistrio 2. I'm still not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Why don't people enter robots that I can pronounce? Then I won't be embarrassing myself so much. Come on, you lot. Sort yourselves out. Naked Rat versus Dinistrio 2. Let's go. Let's go on to it now. Let's go. We saw Dinistrio 2 in the last episode, and what an episode it was. What a fight it was, and we could see it happen again here too. The Naked Rat is flung across the arena, almost out. That is what happened in the last episode. It flung two opponents out of the ring in mere seconds, and Naked Rat almost followed along with that trend in this one. He gets turned up against the corner of the arena. Look at those spinning discs on Dinistrio 2. They will be downgraded for Series 3 after new rules have been implemented. That was a strange little series of sparks coming from Dinistrio 2. It needs to be careful. It can't get too complacent against the Naked Rat here. But it's being flung around the arena again. Naked Rat getting sparks flying. Wheels are falling off. I think it's dead. I'm pretty sure it's dead. Naked Rat. Naked. No armament against the power of Dinistrio 2, which still seems to be smoking. It's better now, but it's against Fatnacker, who's fresh from its victory against 180 Overturned Tiger. Can it beat Dinistrio 2, this wicked machine that's come from some sort of pits from hell? We've had robots from the pits of hell before, but this is on a new level. Something below hell. What is below hell? Comments below. What is below hell? What is worse? Where has Dinistrio 2 come from? The sparks fly again though, but Fatnacker, the scoop's gone. The scoop of Fatnacker has been removed, and that is really part of the effectiveness gone. It's been turned on its back by Dinistrio 2. Can it be flung out the arena? Not quite. Naked Rat gets in the way. But Fatnacker is being destroyed. It's being demolished. It's being annihilated. It's been defeated. Dinistrio 2 so powerful. Perhaps too powerful. No wonder it's being downgraded for next year, but it defeated the Naked Rat here, and it will move on to the next round of Wiki Wars. Can anything stop this monster machine? certainly beat Fat Knacker and put it in its place. Then again, many robots have been doing that recently, haven't they? Come on, Fat Knacker, pick up the pace. Try a bit harder next time. Wiki Wars done. Naked Rat and Gale Force X out. Dinistrio 2 and 182/10 Tiger progress through to the next round. And what do we have next in this episode of Banter Wars 2.5? None other than the Foreigners competition, where robots from various parts of the world come together to see who is the greatest robot building nation on the planet. And today, Millimate versus the Eviscerator, Netherlands versus Greece. And El Mustachio from Mexico versus the Toblerone Belcout's robot from Switzerland. First up, Netherlands versus Greece. So Greece have had their economic issues recently, but have they had robot building issues? Today we find out. Here comes Stelios' Eviscerator with the axe weapon, gets turned over by the arena flipper. There's Millimate with a propeller blade built in the depths of Netherlands. There goes the axe of the Greek robot. That propeller blade of Millimate tearing off the weapon. It really is an anti-axe weapon. One of the only ones we have seen in Banter Wars. It's also got that flicking up spike at the front, which so far hasn't really proved that effective. But it's designed to get underneath, turn robots over, and slam it with that propeller on top. Now you wonder what the Eviscerator is going to do now. It's got no Eviscerate weapon. There goes the Observer Bot getting tossed across the arena again. That seems to happen a lot. Observer Bot, a bit wild out in the arena this series. But we need to come back and answer this question. What is the Eviscerator going to do to beat Millimate here? It's got no chance, surely, unless it can push Millimate into the pit. We certainly don't want Observer Bot helping that. Go away, Observer Bot. Stelios now pushing against Millimate. Still trying to get that flipping weapon in action. What's the Observer Bot doing? It's flinging itself across the arena and out of the arena. There goes the Observer Bot. A foolish mistake, or was it doing it for showboating? I don't know, but there we go. Look at that. The Eviscerator flicked up and onto the propeller blades of Millimate. And that is what that flicking arm is for. Look at this. It flicks up towards the propeller blades and slams it onto its side. Merciless, destructivous, and devious, I must say. Counted out, the Eviscerator knocked out, off goes the axe. The Observer Bot flings itself out of the arena for reasons unknown, but look at this. The full combination of weapons on Millimate coming into play and annihilating Stelios' Eviscerator. And here we have proof. Eviscerator out of the Foreigners competition. Netherlands, represented by Millimate, moves on to the next round. And representing Mexico, El Mustachio, and Switzerland, the Toblerone. Who will join Millimate in the next round? El Mustachio returns. A little more of a streamlined design now, I must say. It's missing the spike, though, which could be a cause for concern here against the Toblerone, which isn't quite the same shape as a Toblerone. It used to be the same shape as a Toblerone, but Belcout wanted an improved robot, and who could blame him, really? This one is a much bigger, much badder improvement to the original Toblerone design, with those spikes all over the body and the spinning blades protruding from the side. But it's El Mustachio pushing now against the Toblerone. It's got a much better pushing power. The Observer Bot watches on curiously. Is it going to have to separate these two robots? Those blades are causing limited damage to the front of El Mustachio. Nothing too intrusive at the moment, shall we say. El Mustachio doing the pushing, but it's getting nowhere with it. Come on, you two, get some action involved. El Mustachio pushes again. Toblerone keeps swinging those blades. I think we'll have to get the Observer Bot in here to do something, because there's nothing really splitting these two. Get in there, Observer Bot. Do something about this. This is getting boring. Come on, Observer Bot. Sorry, my voice is going crazy. I'm bored. This is what happens. Toblerone being counted out, but it's still mobile. It moves away. El Mustachio applying the pressure, but getting nowhere. Observer Bot spins away, probably just as bored as I am. Belcout's Toblerone, even though maybe not as aggressive, it's still somewhat aggressive, and more importantly, causing damage to the front of El Mustachio here. The Observer Bot's nowhere to be seen, and that's really not a good thing, because They've been stuck in this corner all game, Observerbot. Come on, get involved with this action. That's what we pay you for. El Moustachio pushes again, gets damage to the front. This is such a repetitive battle. So disappointing. And it will probably go down to a judge's decision if it carries on. It will go down to a judge's decision. And El Moustachio and Toblerone, stalemate, evenly matched. One got more damage, one was more aggressive. Who does the judge say progresses through to the next round? Shall we go find out? Shall we sack the Observerbot too? Because let's be honest, Observerbot's pathetic. And we have our decision. El Moustachio knocked out. Too much damage caused by the Toblerone weapon, which means Switzerland, represented by Belcout's Toblerone, move on with Netherlands to the next round of the foreigners. You think that's all? Well, you're wrong! We've got more in this 2.5 episode. We've got the Sumo. Returning from the Series 2 Grand Final is Ziggy Crust, owned by Tutorial Channel. We have Steve Stropkovich's Alfa Raptor, the brother of Mike Stropkovich, the owner of the Mr. Psycho channel. We have Lazy Laceration, owned by Aaron Golden. And we have the Mobility Scooter, the Sumo champion of Series 1. A previous champion, a grand finalist, and 2 new competitors. Who's gonna win? Time to go see. We return to our sumo ring with the claws at the side and the pits and everything. Ziggy Crust is probably the favourite here, or the Mobility Scooter. One of those two. One of the new ones might take it though. But Alfa Raptor pushes against Ziggy Crust and takes them both out of the ring. That's a surprise. And so early on, and now Lazy Laceration pushes against Mobility Scooter and pushes it out of the ring. And the newcomer takes the sumo. In a quick turn of events here, Ziggy Crust and Alfa Raptor were knocked out, and then Mobility Scooter, where is your friction? Where is your grip? Lazy Laceration with ease pushes you out and goes on to the next round, the final of the Sumo, which we'll see shortly. And from one pushing contest to the next, we have King of the Hill, including the previous champion, the Cakeinator, completely destructive. We have returning Netherlands competitor Millimate. We have Blimey McTrousers from Series 1. And we have another Series 2 competitor, Ryvex's Lasermobile, a previous King of the Hill Grand Finalist. Big names here today. Let's hope for an even bigger fight. The King of the Hill, Hill of the Kings. And we have some kingly competitors today. Millimate, Blimey McTrousers, Cakeinator, and Lasermobile. Of course, Cakeinator, being the King of the Hill champion, will probably be favourites here. And already parts of the Lasermobile have been chopped off by the blades of Millimate, those propellers that have been effective so far in today's episode. And it flicks itself over. It is invertible though, but see this here, the lasers being chopped off one by one by the propellers of the Netherlands competitor, Millimate. Blimey McTrousers keeping rather quiet in the middle there, and we expect to see the Cakeinator cause some serious damage to my tongue more than anything. It's probably been ripped out by the Cakeinator, let's be honest. I mean, whose hasn't? This thing tears everything to shreds. Lasermobile, all of the lasers are gone. It's got nothing but pushing power remaining, and we've seen this happen last time these two faced in the previous King of the Hill final. Millimate seems to be facing backwards at the moment. It needs to turn itself around. Maybe it's a new tactic it's employing. Meanwhile, Blimey McTrousers is stuck in the middle and is taking severe damage, mostly from the Cakeinator, as you'd expect. Lasermobile comes in there with a vicious slam in on the back of Blimey McTrousers and able to force the other competitors off. Cakeinator retreats briefly, comes back in on the action now, slamming into the Lasermobile and causing further damage. Millimate's weapon is too high for all three of these competitors, and I don't see that changing unless it can finally turn itself around and get that hook into play. Lasermobile pushing against Blimey McTrousers and the Cakeinator, trying to push them off, but Cakeinator holds its ground. Millimate tries to come back in on the action, and now we see Blimey McTrousers running out of steam, running out of power, and I believe it's dead. Yes, Blimey McTrousers is dead and knocked out of this King of the Hill competition by the blades of the Cakeinator, rolled off the hill. Bye-bye, Blimey McTrousers. See you, well, whenever we see you again. Maybe never, maybe sometime soon. You never know. Cakeinator comes back with a charge in on Lasermobile, and Millimate swinging that propeller blade around to no effect. And I think that's the Lasermobile out. Sparks fly, wheels smoke, there's no movement in those wheels anymore, and Millimate and Cakeinator are the only two robots competing now in this bout. Cakeinator watches on, gains points, but removes off the edge, they both move off. And now Cakeinator is again gaining points here over Millimate, and this is where Millimate really needs to come into this. How is it going to beat those weapons on the front of Laternal's Cakeinator? It pushes against the side. I'm running out of breath here. I'm going to get a really bad sore throat out of this one. Millimate trying to get that hook underneath. It's finally turned itself around the right way, and can it get underneath and maybe turn Cakeinator over? Right now it's gaining points. It's gaining points now, and this could be vital come the end. But Cakeinator comes back in and pushes Millimate with ease off the edge and is gaining points itself. But Millimate is managing to hold on. It's staying in there, and this is an impressive performance from Millimate, the second of today. This has been Millimate's episode by far, and it's still hanging in against the Cakeinator, who destroyed everyone in the past pretty much. Not many survived this one, and it's ended. Well, destruction rains down upon these robots. Bits of Lasermobile flew everywhere from the very start. Blimey McTrousers was immobilised early on, and then soon after Lasermobile followed. But Millimate held on till the very end. I don't think it's got enough points, but at the end of the day, what a performance. It hung in there against one of the most destructive robots we've ever seen in the Cakeinator. Good show, Millimate. And just to confirm, Cakeinator gained the most points on this King of the Hill occasion and moves on to the King of the Hill final. Bad luck, Millimate. Great performance, though. We hope to see you back. And following on now from the King of the Hill, we have new blood. That means new blood to be spilt across our favourite arenas. And we have Rob Collins, 4. We have Mattia Tor's Gale Force X, who we saw earlier today. We have Aaron Goulton, Lazy Laceration, and Disembowler, belonging to Jim Jamatic. So we've seen all these ones before, but we haven't seen them face each other. Now is that very special time. 4. Disembowler, Lazy Laceration, and Gale Force X. 3 of them with spinning weapons, and we see Lazy Laceration's weapon. We didn't really get to talk much about it earlier, but it's that gripping claw at the front, very similar to Bone Bugger Upper, who we saw in the first series of Banter Wars. Very inspiring weapons. And we have 2 all-body spinners, and Disembowler with the vertical spinning blade. Lazy Laceration and 4 are at each other. Meanwhile, Gale Force X and Disembowler have a bit of a tussle in the middle. Gale Force X somehow underneath the Disembowler and pushing it around the arena, causing damage to the underside, getting the upper hand on that one. Meanwhile, Laser Laceration comes back in on Gale Force X, but its weapon comes off after colliding with that spike on Gale Force X, and that could be seriously limiting its ability to win in this fight. 4, part of the weapon is missing. It's only got 3 parts of the 4-part blade left. Disembowler comes back in now with that spinning disc finally on the move. Gale Force X seems to be keeping calm at the moment, keeping steady, but keeping up the aggression. And now bits have just been spilt all over the arena. I have to clean this up, you know. Well, I get Fat Knacker to do it. But look at the state of this arena. Laser Laceration's been ripped to shreds there beneath Disembowler and Gale Force X. There's hardly anything of it left. There's Gale Force X spinning in the background. It's still got all its wheels intact. Disembowler has stopped moving. Disembowler has stopped altogether. Something's broken it. I think it was the weapon of 4. But even that weapon has only got 1, I was going to say wheel left, but it's a spike. Gale Force X, all the pressure here. Look at these 3 robots just torn to pieces in the side of the arena there. One of them still, well, 2 of them are still working. Disembowler's long gone. Lazy Laceration's got no wheels. Look at the damage caused here. This is one of the most destructive battles so far in 2.5, but 4 is still active, still going strong, even with only 1 part of its weapon left. Gale Force X has torn them to pieces today, and I don't see it going any other way than Gale Force X at the moment. 4 is smoking. There goes the last of the weaponry. It's defenseless. You've got nothing, Rob Collins, with your 4 machine. Mattiator, destroying 4. And there we go. The final blow. Things were torn to pieces. Early aggression from Lazy Laceration, but with all these spinning weapons around, it was only a matter of time before its weapon was removed. Torn to shreds from that point on. Disembowler hardly got a look in. It got destroyed by a combination of 4 and Gale Force X. 4 was falling to pieces throughout as well, and eventually Gale Force X proved far too powerful for these three robots. A wonderful performance by Moustachio's Gale Force X, victorious in this new blood competition. Congratulations. But enough of that silliness. It's time for the biggest competition in 2.5, the AllStars tournament. And these are our last four first-round competitors. We have Crumpet King, the winner of the YouTubers round in Series 1, against Stickman, the Series 1.5 weapons match champion. Following that, we've got a big one for you. The grand finalists of Series 1, first and second place, the PM's Pulverizer versus an ordinary robot Blimy.
2.
But first, Crumpet King versus Stickman. Crumpet King returns to the arena from a long absence with a new design, invertible, more deadly. Stickman, also more deadly. It's a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Compact. There's bits not sticking everywhere, and it's still got that spinning blade at the front, and it's pursuing Crumpet King now with that spinning blade, that all-rotating body spinner, and it's causing damage to the blade of Stickman, and it's come off! It was smoking, and it was only a matter of time before something came of it. Crumpet King tears the weapon off of Stickman and the extender pole at the front. Observerbot throws the blade out of the ring, but now Stickman is applying pressure to the Crumpet King. But in this arena where there's no obstacles, there are no obstacles, sorry, I need to get my English correct because I'm ridiculous, I'm sorry. What can I do? What can I say? I've been yelling at this microphone for too long now. Crumpet King is the only one able to cause damage at the moment unless Stickman can somehow get it out of the ring. It needs to really start shoving hard. I don't know what Observerbot's doing in the background over there. Sort yourself out, Observerbot, for God's sake. Meanwhile, a wheel's been torn off of Stickman, and this only seems to be going one way. No matter how much pressure Stickman puts Crumpet King under, that damage could be decisive here, but it is stopping that Crumpet King weapon from rotating right now. Even with a wheel missing, it's got much better pushing power. There we go, the weapon starts up again. Now Crumpet King needs to finally get rid of Stickman to put it in its place. This has been a great return for Crumpet King, really showing what this new design can do. The previous design a bit more static. It wasn't invertible, so this is a much greater improvement. And besides, I love crumpets, don't we all? Especially my British friends out there. Of course, me being an Heapian, a member of the greatest country in the world. I'm not really British. I'll shut up. Just as long as you Americans realise who you're messing with. The Crumpet King. Norbert, showing what he's made of in this battle. The Observerbot watches on, petrified. There goes another wheel from the Stickman, and still it applies the pressure, but it's not enough, I fear. Crumpet King far too damaging here, and Stickman puts up a brave performance. But sorry, mate, I think it's not enough, and it's going to go to a judge's decision. Good stuff here from Crumpet King and Stickman. Stickman aggressive throughout, probably the more aggressive of the two. But the damage caused from Crumpet King and that new and improved weaponry. Far too much, I think. But it's up to the judge. What's he going to say? Unfortunately for Stickman, the judge agrees with me. And Crumpet King, too damaging, progresses through to the next round of the All-Stars. And now, time to get our greasy little fingers into the juiciest tie of Banter Wars. PM's Pulverizer, Series 1 champion, against runner-up and ordinary robot Blimy 2. This is a big one, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. Let's get into it. The Ring Arena hosts this most marvellous of face-offs. The PM's Pulverizer, the new and improved one, against the also new and improved and ordinary robot Blimy, which now tries to get underneath the PM's Pulverizer. It's reduced the number of blades, but it's increased its mobility. It's increased its effectiveness. And look at that now! A single flip from an ordinary robot Blimy and the weapon is torn to pieces, mangled, bent and buckled. Look here! Just simply torn to pieces. How is it going to turn the PM's Pulverizer upside down now? The PM's Pulverizer, which still has a self-righting arm on the back. Is there anything anything at all that can defeat the PM's Pulverizer. Observerbot watches on as an ordinary robot tries to do that right now, but it can't seem to get underneath those protruding spikes at the front of the PM's Pulverizer. Those blurs whir dangerously. You won't want to get near that thing, Observerbot. Maybe you will in a minute, I don't know. But now an ordinary robot comes in, and I think all of its weaponry is gone. It's nothing more than a wedge at this point, which is such a disappointment. But it's lasted longer than it ever did in the grand final of Series 1. It now presses the PM's Pulverizer against the wall, and maybe that's going to be its only hope in this battle. The PM's Pulverizer comes back in and gets underneath an ordinary robot Blimy, gets those blades underneath, and this could spell the end for our Series 1 runner-up robot. A wonderful piece of machinery, but maybe just not enough to defeat the PM's Pulverizer. Will it ever be successful against this most hideously dangerous machine? It's upside down now. Without a stream mech, I think it's over for an ordinary robot Blimy, and the Observerbot watches on in anguish, pained that its friend is put through such torture. PM's Pulverizer merciless, just like the Prime Minister himself, and also just like the Prime Minister, a figure of pure beauty and wonderfulness, and getting stuck on random pieces of metal. Briefly stuck there, but the Observerbot manages to free it. Now the Observerbot is put under pressure by the PM's Pulverizer. Can it get under? Can it maybe turn it over? The Observerbot tries to knock an ordinary robot, but it's counted out. It's dead. It's long gone. The Observerbot now under pressure again from the PM's Pulverizer, getting turned over. It can self-right though, so it might be able to return from this state of affairs. It tries to turn itself over, but the PM's Pulverizer is relentless here and pushes underneath the Observerbot, causing damage on the shell, increasing damage. But we're almost out of time here. Maybe the Observerbot can last the full 3 minutes against such a deadly machine. It's going to go through to the next round, and I dare any one of these All-Stars to face up against the PM's Pulverizer. Not even the Observerbot can beat it, look. Maybe it'll face Siren. You never know. That'll be a good matchup. Nevertheless, the Observerbot survives, unlike an ordinary robot Blimy. That weapon didn't last long at all, torn to shreds by the blades of the PM's Pulverizer. It did its best to shove the PM's Pulverizer against the walls and tried to turn it over, but to no avail. And the PM's Pulverizer is vicious. Far too much for the blue menace from the pits of hell. The PM's Pulverizer itself, like Dinistrio 2, is from a level even deeper. One we may never even find. Unless you look under my bed. Anyway, congratulations to the PM's Pulverizer and Crumpet King for progressing to the next stage of the All-Stars tournament. And thank you all very much for watching this next episode of Banter Wars 2.5. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and remember to tune in for the next episode of Banter Wars 2.5. Also remember to go find the Banter Wars Go robots. They're hidden away in random Banter Wars videos here and there. So if you want your special edition robots, go find them now. Remember that the Mega Pack is also available for download from the Banter Wars wiki page. The link for that is in the description below. And before we go, another image from Doodle. Out for revenge, the Observerbot. Can anyone survive this robotic menace? Tune in next time for more Banter Wars action. If you enjoyed this episode of Banter Wars, why not enter Banter Wars Series 3? All you have to do is create a robot in Robot Arena 2 and a 20 to 60 second intro to go with it, and send it to A Heap of Games via Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or any other means. If you need any help sending your files or creating your robot, simply put a comment in the comment section below and I'll do my best to help you out. Looking forward to seeing you in Banter Wars Series 3.